moment. The boys stood up and we all stuck there and found a way through. That's tonight is the biggest thing I'll take from this weekend.
And you 1-0 up and then concede a penalty and one player less, then it affects the game massively. Yes, I think it was a very hard red card. We conceded the 2-1 too early. I think we could have done better in this situation because we were 2 against Sesko, but Sesko touched the ball very well, a great header.
He thought about going again to the same side as he did last week. I think last week he saves. But then probably for what they've studied, they thought that together with their staff, he should have gone to the other side, luckily for me. But at the end of the day, I scored, and that's the main thing.
In terms of taking responsibility, he's always there and he always steps up. He'd never do anything else. So it was a big moment, obviously, with the red card and the penalty. It was a big moment for us, and I thought we deserved the win in the end for how we came into the game.
It's been a great start to life back at Manchester United for Michael Carrick, and that includes both his spells as caretaker manager. He's now got a record points tally by new Premier League managers, level with Ange Postecoglou, but beating Arne Slot, Gus Hiddink and Mike Walker from his early days. Now, look, the big turning point in the game was very clearly Lacroix's red card. Yeah. What were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was really, really good play from Manchester United. We've highlighted Lacroix here. He's, it's a recycled set piece, dealing with Maguire. Now he's got his eyes on Cunha. Cunha's slotting, he's looking dangerous. As we look at Chris Richards here, are you ready for this? Woof. That actually just happened.
Magic.
So Chris Richards is dragged out, and Cunha, and this is Fernandes' brilliance, slipped into it. And once he gets the wrong side of him, Lacroix is scrambling. He's got his hands all over him, and I thought straight away foul and red card. But Leon, foul, red card and penalty.
Yeah, I just think it's a little bit soft. I think he could have stayed on his feet. I don't think there's anything VAR can really do. But those, 2 fingers, 3 fingers have changed the game. Yeah,
I think the red card, the foul is taking place outside of the box, and I think that's denying a goal-scoring opportunity. Like you say, 3 fingers whilst he's in the box, for that to be a penalty as well, that is the triple threat.
So, debatable as to, you can debate as to whether or not it was actually a foul, debatable as to whether or not it continues into the box, but having decided that it was a foul and it does continue into the box, then it has to be a penalty. And having given the foul, denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, it has to be a red card. And that's what Chris Kavanagh went over to look at the VAR monitor for, and decided that, yes, it was going to be a red card as well. It was a lot to unpick, though, in all of that, Leon.
Yeah, it was. And, we all understand the process. We all know that the referees and VAR have rules to follow. And I didn't think there was anything clear and obvious to overrule that. I just think players don't help the referees at the moment. Yes, they don't have to stay on their feet when they feel they're fouled, but he made the referee have to make a decision, and my opinion was just a bit soft.
Joe, I want to ask you about Bruno Fernandes, because lots of people get frustrated with the way that he acts at times on the pitch, the way he very visibly shows his frustration. But is there a method behind it, do you think?
I think there really is. And personally, I don't like the hand throwing. I don't like those gestures because I think it brings the crowd into it. But he spoke about so fondly by his teammates. And the more I watch him, the more I realise it's just his passion for the game and what he wants for his teammates. It's the early doors here. He's pointing. He wants that ball into Mainu. This is just an early example of his first half performance. And Sesko, he was on him all first half. Young striker, and he's got such brilliance, a little bit of Cristiano Ronaldo about him. And Fernandes knows how to get the best out of him. He knows how to get in the goal-scoring positions. Here, if Sesko makes that run, which Bruno's going to have a word with him after, not only does he give himself a chance to score with the cutback, but it gives Sesko a really opportunity getting across that front man. This is a ball in from Casemiro, heavily experienced player. Do you want to give Bruno a fighting ball with Richards? No. He either wants it in behind or into his feet. And straight away he's making that point. He's gesturing to Casemiro. What are you doing? I'm not Benjamin Sesko. Here, turns it over. This is his first chance. This is where he wants Sesko running, using his pace and his power, and he doesn't do it. And if we keep him highlighted because he takes his opportunity to coach on the pitch, that's what I think he's doing. I don't think he's complaining. I think he's coaching. He's letting him know how he's going to get the best out of him in a team situation. Sesko again. What does Bruno want for him when he gets in this position? He wants him getting across his defender. doesn't do it again. The frustration, don't like this. I think he brings the crowd into it, but it's just his personality. And more often than not, you get the best out of him. And this is just before half-time. They're 1-0 down, and he's absolutely fuming. And I'm sure he's gone in at half-time and had a word. But this is the brilliance of him. To see that pass, he sets the goal up, he gets the red card, he steps up, brilliant penalty, and Man United are back into it. And this is what the culmination of all that hard work and that teamwork in the first half, maybe a conversation at half-time. As the ball clears, he takes a beautiful touch. What's he been saying to Benjamin Sesko? Get across your defender, you'll score goals. He gets across his defender, bullet header into the bottom corner. Brilliant performance, celebration. And there's that little word with Dean Henderson, who's fuming because he's planned, he's set it up. But he's a top player, a wily fox, and he scores and he assists, and it's a massive performance.
Yeah, Dean Henderson might well be saying Benjamin Sesko doesn't need any help at all. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. That must feel like a really big win, does it?
No, it feels like a big result, obviously. We were behind. We had to show some character. Then I think in the second half we were a little bit more brave with the ball and also with the pressing. In the first half we couldn't find many spaces. They were defending very well, even in the wide areas, because we didn't have many runs in behind, so they could manage very well that, and we're a little bit slow with the ball. But obviously it's a very important win, another 3 points, and that's the aim.
I suppose ultimately the VAR decision has proved quite pivotal in that game. It took quite a while for the referee to arrive at that. How did you see it on the pitch?
No, he was just waiting just to understand if it was a red card, because he told me straight away that the penalty was confirmed, but they had to see the red card. Obviously, we know that the red card, when it's like a push or a pull, and no intention to go for the ball, is a red card, because it was last man, but he was trying to understand if Mateus was in control of the ball or not.
You'll know that Dean Henderson has a pretty good record at saving penalties, so what was key to beating him today?
No, obviously I work with him. I was with him after he had a spell at Forest. I had a penalty against Forest. He told me what he was supposed to do when he was there, so I knew what he was waiting from me. He even told me now at the end that he wanted to go again to the same side as he did last week and save it. Luckily for me, he went to the other side as I thought, and the ball went in.
Well, you weren't done there. It was the perfect ball into Benjamin Sesko. How much trust do you have in him at the moment with the goal-scoring form that he's in?
No, he's a very good player. You know, he just wanted to find his confidence back, and I think he can do much better. And he's a kid that always wants to improve, and I think he's aware of that. He's never happy with just a goal, and that's very important for a player to play at this club, because when you kind of relax and feel yourself too much, you go through the wrong path. But he's very aware that he needs to score week in, week out at this club, and he's doing that. And for everyone at the club, everyone is very happy with the progress he's having, and hopefully he's going to have even more goals until the end of the season.
Well, as a team, you are making great progress. What does this result do for your top 4 ambitions?
No, obviously he gives us a chance to get closer to the 3rd place now, but it's a lot of games to go still, and we have a lot to do. It's very important that we, as I said before, we don't feel that we are already in the place we want to be, because the season still has a lot of games to play, 10 I think, and that's a lot of points in game, and so we need to make as much points as we can.
Well, for now, enjoy this victory. A great team performance, but you are the player of the match. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations. What a turnaround to maintain this unbeaten start you've made. How do you sum up the performance?
Yeah, I'm really happy. I think it was a test for us today, and you know, coming in at half time and go down, something slightly kind of new for us, and so I thought we didn't start the game great. Credit to Palace, they did, and I thought then we grew into the game as the half went on, and certainly second half I thought we stepped up again, and it was a big thing to overcome, being a goal down at home so early, and to win the game against a team that they're tough to break down and they're well organised. So it was a big step for us today, and I was really happy with the way the boys kind of approached that and reacted to it, and got there in the end.
Yeah, before you reached the turning point, that first half, when you drill down into it, where do you think you perhaps struggled to find your rhythm a little bit?
I'd rather talk about the hour after that, really. I think it's football, you know, they're a good team, and it doesn't take much for the game to swing both ways, and we just weren't quite sharp enough, and we weren't quite there. And so I've been there as a player. You just got to work your way out of it, and the boys did. So we'll obviously look at it, you know, and we'll address it. But I thought there was a lot of good things in the game that we can take from moving forward as well.
I suppose the pivotal moment then, the decisions. How did you see both at the penalty and the red card? The referee took his time a little bit, but was it clear to you?
Well, he's clean for one goal, Mateus, and it was a great pass from Bruno and a great position for us to get into. So it definitely asked the question of the officials at that point. I've literally not seen it, but what the fourth official told us that the decision was it wasn't for the penalty. It was when he went to the screen, it was just for what card he was going to give. So is what it is, you know. We'll take it. Obviously, it was a big moment of the game, but I thought we deserved it.
Yeah, I suppose it's one thing having the extra man, but then really taking advantage of that situation. How do you think the players were able to do that so well?
Yeah, it's a difficult balance, that, you know, because they obviously still set up to break forward and got dangerous players, and they had moments when we had to kind of react and deal with it. But yeah, again, credit to the boys, you know, and breaking down that defence that's kind of so well drilled, you know, and we did it in different ways. We could have had more. So it was a good way to finish the game.
Sesko on the score sheet again. What did you make of his performance as a whole this afternoon? Yeah,
Ben's there to score goals, and he's done enough of that lately, and it's something that I've said it. He's going to be an important player. He is an important player. He's going to be even more important as he kind of progresses and improves all the time. So to get his start today, for me, it wasn't a big drama. It was a natural kind of decision, and Ahmad coming on and rotating a little bit, but for Ben to get that goal again, that's some really important goals he's got for us, and it was a fantastic header.
And up to third, does it feel like quite a significant result in your top four ambitions this season?
It was more the way the game went, to be honest. I think wherever we are in the league, I think there was more of, as I said, that new kind of challenge in some ways for us to be down like that at home and overcome it. I think that was the biggest thing from today. Yeah, we've moved up a position, which obviously is nice, but you know, it's 1 week, it's one weekend again, so we're not getting carried away with that, but it's more the performance and the way we've done it. I think that the boys will benefit a lot from that. And
before you go, how about Luke Shaw? What can you tell us there exactly?
He just wasn't well. He was ill, so
right.
See how he recovers really, but he'd be going home and wrapping himself up and getting back as quick as possible, so hopefully it's not too bad.
And just to check on Harry Maguire, he looked like he might have been in a bit of discomfort as he was leaving the pitch.
Yeah, we'll see with Harry. We'll see, but hopefully he'll be ready for Wednesday, you know, and I thought the boys that came on actually had done really well for us today, and we needed it, so good day for us.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
He isn't getting carried away. He might just get carried away with these figures when we show you what Benjamin Sesko has done in the one game under Darren Fletcher in the Premier League, and then under him, because he brought him in from the start for the first time under him after all the substitute goals today, Righty, and he's replied with another goal, the match-winning goal.
Another great goal as well, and especially when you've got somebody who can put it pinpoint like Bruno can. It's like, I'll be saying into Trent, listen, just get the ball in there, don't even look for me, because that goal what he scored there, the movement to get in front of the header and head the ball in was fantastic. And if that's what's to come, Steve, honestly, it's going to be exciting for us.
Look at this transformation. Over 1,000 minutes in 17 games under Ruben Amorim, 2 goals, 8 appearances since 348 minutes. 7 goals.
I think that you've got to say something, Gaffer, in respect of people like you've got Kobbie Mainoo in there, you've got Bruno pushed up, you've got Mbeumo, you've got him in the centre. Obviously, he's just starting, and you've got the ball coming in there on a regular basis. It doesn't surprise me that he's scoring the goals now.
But from a striker's point of view, he's feeling the love, isn't he?
Absolutely, without a doubt, yeah, without a doubt. And you look at this Man United team with Bruno there, because you know he's one of my favourites. He's going to create chances for you. You know, he looked at that ball was pinpoint onto his head. Great movement from him, but you know that you can make the move Bruno sees, he's going to put it in there. You know, it's brilliant for him.
In a way, he's created the love for him with what he's done from the bench. You know, it's good management to take him out, to then put him back in again. As I said earlier in the day, it was about taking the chains off him. And when you come on from the substitutes bench, it's a different game than when you start. The scoreline could be different. And he's gone and done the business. And then suddenly, now he's got his chance to play. What's he gone and done? If he hadn't scored today and United drew, we'd be going, oh, well, he might not be a good starter, you know, but he's actually come up with the goods and made the winning goal. So, with a fantastic header, by the way. It's a great technique, it really is. So he's going to be like under Amorim, with those stats that we said, he's probably apprehensive going into every game. Now he can't wait. He can't wait. He can't wait to get out there and play again, and the next goal's going to come around the corner.
So the Michael Carrick effect, 19 points from 21 available. They are into the top 3 for the first time since May 2023. They were 11 points behind Villa on the day Michael Carrick was appointed, and there they are now above them.
Yeah,
It's just like a breath of fresh air in there. They've responded to him. He's playing players in their positions. He's playing them in a comfortable formation that they all know. You know what I mean? Brought back Kobe Mainoo. I'm really pleased to see that, especially with the World Cup coming up. He's pushed Bruno further forward. He's got Mbuemo and Cunha, who are really exciting players and good players, both putting in a shift. And then you've got Sesko scoring goals. So, you know, it's brilliant what he's done, Michael Carrick. And, you know what I mean? He deserves plaudits for what he's doing. If I don't know how Amorim must be feeling now with the same team doing unbelievable things now, but that's quite damning for him, I'd say.
I mean, when you think about United at the end of the season, they lost to Tottenham in the Europa Cup final. Spurs, who hadn't had a great season, beat them 4 times that year. Yeah. I'm just saying that, but I'm just saying that's
you
where,
saying that.
No, it's the only thing I can say this week. But that's where they were.
Yeah,
and it hasn't happened where you go, well, Amorim, you know, built something up and the basis was already there. No, it wasn't. They were plodding away, looking the same team, going to end up in the same position as they did last year, possibly, or maybe a little bit improved on that. But they ended up, whatever they ended up, down the bottom half of the league. Now, if someone had shook you and said, yeah, but you wait until March, they're going to be 3rd in the league, blah, 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 you go, forget it, no chance. Michael Carrick has done an unbelievable job. Incredible job. How can you not give him that job? If they
finish in the Champions League,
Well, if they finish in the Champions League, even if they don't, the improvement of what's happening, it's not always by.
So if they finish 6th and miss out on Champions League football, you'd still give him the job.
Yeah.
Well, if they
carry on like that, I would.
If you don't give him the job, right? If you didn't give him the job and they ended up 6th or 5th and it didn't happen, why would you say, no, you're not the right man?
Yeah.
What he's done from where I'm saying last year, where they finished the season, absolutely rock bottom, started the season, nothing had changed much, and he, in a short period of time. Now, it's always dangerous. It's always dangerous to have an interim or a caretaker manager. When you give him the job, sometimes it's the real thing then, you know. But I think he's earned the opportunity, and I think he's got the character and the temperament to actually deal with it, even when he becomes the full boss.
Well, time will tell. They're up into the top 3. They're in the box seat as we stand for this Champions League race. Liverpool have won a couple of games. Aston Villa haven't. Is there a worry? They're still in the Europa League, a competition they feel they can win, that they might slip out of the top 5 and not finish in the Champions League?
Yeah, especially if you're going to lose to Wolverhampton Wanderers, who, let's face it, they probably are gone. You know, I know it's a massive derby game for Villa and Wolves, but you can't be losing that game if you've got aspirations of playing Champions League football. And I think that even if they don't make it and they do get Europa League football, they'll be disappointed with that, because they've done well enough at the first half of the season to finish it out and not be losing to Wolves. They shouldn't be losing to Wolves regardless of the derby, because of their ambitions and what they're trying to achieve. So I think that their momentum is going the other way. You know, you can get great momentum and you can get poor momentum, and I think their momentum's taking.
3 wins in 10.
Yeah, it's poor. It's the kind of momentum where people say things like, "Oh, they're on the beach," and they've got so much to play for. You know what I mean? But like for them to play like they're playing, there doesn't seem to be any fight at the moment. They think it's just going to happen, and it's not going to just happen because people want to take them because they're a scalp now. They're a top-end team, and at the moment, I think they might miss out.
In games, but they've got a free programme, they've got the momentum, they look dangerous. I actually think against the good teams, they're very dangerous on the counter-attack with Ahmad, Sesko, Mbuemo, Cunha, Bruno. So I actually think those games suit them. I think United will definitely finish 3rd. But I'll probably sat here in 3 weeks on the Gary Neville podcast, which I said wasn't very good before, which is a bit in the game. No, I think United will finish 3rd. And I can't believe I'm saying that from where we were 6 weeks ago. But I just think they've got no distractions. They've got something good going. The momentum's with them. All the teams have got difficult games. they've all got difficult games. They've all got a challenge in front of them. I think United finished third. I think Liverpool finished fourth. And I think Chelsea will finish fifth. I hope Villa finish in the top 5. I really do. And look, I've said before, their manager is an experienced, wise guy. And if they get some players back, but the midfield players being injured have cost them a bit in the last few weeks. And I just feel like it'll be Chelsea, Manchester United and Liverpool. The only doubt will be Chelsea or Villa. Chelsea or Villa for fifth is my view. I think it's United, Liverpool, Chelsea or Villa.
Is that how you see the top 4, Daniel? Manchester United and Liverpool?
I do think so, yeah. It's going to go down to the wire, though, isn't it? Villa, I love the coach, I love the players, what they've got going on over there. Of course, Chelsea, if they figure it out and they show their best, they're capable of beating everybody. But Liverpool and Manchester United, I think, are in a better position at the moment, maybe psychologically. I think Chelsea have had their concerns and Aston Villa in a little bit of a difficult patch, but I think it goes down to the wire. I don't think it's going to be one of those where we can be making statements now, because these players and the top coaches as well, they always find a way.
6 wins out of 7 for Michael Carrick in charge, but Gary hasn't changed his position. You might remember when we were here watching Manchester United beat Arsenal, it was a case of wait, see what else is out there. You still agree that's the right approach?
I think, of course, you don't want to rush making a decision, but you have to give him a lot of credit, because Gary was talking about calmness around United, and I think the manager brings calmness, and he brings result. So he's doing a good job, and I think that is something that we have to talk about, because it's always difficult when you come into a new club where the teams are not doing well. So that means you need to relieve the confidence of the players. You need to find a system that suits those players to perform, and I think he did it quite really well in a really short time of period.
And really anything but calmness, Patrick, around Crystal Palace, your old club right now. Is it a bit of a shame, do you think, the way it's sort of finishing and tailing off a little for Oliver Glasner?
Yeah, I think it is a shame. It is a shame because he did a fantastic job winning the FA Cup and giving a lot of hope to the fans, and he really built a strong team, physically really strong and competing quite really well. I think Crystal Palace is a really difficult team to play against. And going from winning the FA Cup, seeing the celebration and seeing where they are now and a lot of confusion around the club, around the manager, around the players, it is a shame for the club because it is a wonderful football club.
And as for Spurs, Daniel, in a bit of a pickle. No win in 10, 2 defeats under their new manager. Would you be worried about them right now?
I think you have to be. You have to be worried, but they've got so many talented football players in the team, and you sort of think they've got to have some moments within themselves. They have to figure out a way to bring their best, because there's so much talent. It's just, you know, they're not playing to the level they can. They know that too. There's a lot of international guys, top players who have done things in different leagues and have had success here. And I just think that it's surprising to see where they are. It is surprising. I'm sure they're going to be disappointed with how things are going at the moment. And yes, managerial change and all those different types of things, but you got to build this momentum, man. You got to find a win.
Why are you smirking, Patrick? You must have some words, some words of encouragement for Spurs fans.
No, I think it is sad, of course, because we're talking about one of the greatest clubs in London and in the Premier League. But in the last couple of years, I think this is a club that spend a lot of money with no structure, with no direction, and with quality players. So that means if you don't have a proper structure, if you don't have a direction, you can have or spend much money that you want that doesn't bring you success. And last couple of years, I think, try to understand where they want to go. It is really difficult to explain.
Patrick,